up with a theory or theorem or a process or a
Pink towel.
So that antibacterial towel that my roommate got, that's really what sparked the idea. And so
elaborate on that. So you took that and
I started breaking that towel down. I was trying to understand, why does this work? How does it work? Is this real? Is this chemical? And that was the beautiful thing. There were no chemicals, because as we're seeing like all these, how toxic the deodorants and sprays and stuff are for you, for your lungs, for your skin absorbs all this stuff. I'm very into holistic health and wellness. Seeing all that stuff, it's like, now we've got a solution that's actually good. It improves blood flow. Like, these are claims that we can't make, but there's a lot of positives to what we're doing. Right. There's no chemicals. It's good for the environment. It's not washing out the sock. And essentially so back to your question, broke down the towel and figured out this is the recipe per se, and it was who can actually execute on that recipe. We found with a lot of Chinese manufacturers, they'd say, oh, we can do it. And they'd send us something and they put like a herbal solution on there, because they obviously are doing a lot of herbal things and Eastern medicine over in China. They'd put topical washes on it, meaning that once the sock's produced, they'll dip it in a bath of chemicals. But once you wash it a few times, that washes off. So it's obviously not good for the environment, not good for your skin, and ineffective after a long period of use. And so we wanted something that was actually built into the sock, and so that's what we designed.
So is your background in school, are you a chemist in chemistry?
Everyone asks
biology?
That. No. I
business administration. Or?
Yeah, so I did IT. I did management information systems in college, which is a blend of like IT and business management. And I wish I could say I'm using my degree. Other than building the initial website, I really haven't used my degree. That
makes me feel better. It makes us all feel better with, because
my degree.
I studied history for crying out loud and went in the Navy. So did I tell you guys, Brian, did I ever tell you that I was in the Navy?
May have mentioned it a handful of times.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you. Inside joke, and they like to harass me because I always bring that up. But anyway.
Fuck your service.
So I would think, stinky feet have been with us a long time, right? And sock manufacturers, they've been talking about this. I guess I'm just asking, why you guys now? Why not the sock manufacturer, 20 years ago or however long, ago? Maybe they didn't have the technology. If you can elaborate on how are you guys able to do this now, and these sock guys.
Why hasn't it been done before at a large
hasn't
scale?
It been? I'm sorry, I'm struggling for words here. I guess I'm tired, but
I would argue that feet are one of the stinkiest parts of your body. The foot sweats the most out of any part of your body. I believe it's half a pint a day. And so that breeds a lot of odor-causing bacteria. Mm-hmm. And so we're seeing brands coming out with like True Classic and Lululemon are coming out with an anti-odor marketing around T-shirts and things like that. And when you're sweating a lot, your shirt will stink, but your foot, think about it, you're on your feet all day long.
Yeah.
The sweat, all that stuff collects. And so I think we are seeing some brands that are starting to do this, but our solution is very expensive from a cost of goods sold perspective. And so our socks, for reference, are anywhere from the $20 to $30 price point per pair. Yeah. Now, once you go into higher volume, then you can get them for cheaper. But it's an expensive sock. It's a quality sock, and it's going to last you at least 2 times as long as a traditional sock. But there's some sticker shock sometimes for people. And so I think some of the bigger
I'm very
brands,
interested in buying a pair.
Okay. Yeah, and I'd love to see your feedback on them too.
But I want to try them out. And I'm not a big stinky feet. My feet don't stink that any worse than anybody else's. But
oh man, I can
some people are terrible. It's like, golly,
Yeah,
I can get some rank ass feet.
Then you need to buy a pair of his socks and try them
I should. I actually just got some. These are made in America socks, but nothing. With fancy odor.
No fancy anti-odor.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, what we found, back to your question, was a lot of these brands, I say a lot, there were a couple brands that marketed an anti-odor component, and then they took them back off the shelves. And I can't confirm this, but I think it was because it was ineffective. They were using that cheap topical chemical solution that I was talking about, and it washes out the sock, and they're making this claim that it's antibacterial, anti-odor, and it doesn't really work.
Yep.
And so it's expensive. I think people saw socks or anti-odor maybe as a little bit of a limited market. With deodorants and other things like that, there's a chance for a higher average order value, a better chance to upsell.
Yep.
And then also, socks have been a stale industry. We're seeing material science improve in shirts in sports bras,
Yeah.
in underwear. I mean, you look at all those industries, and material science has grown significantly. But in socks, it's still largely been stale. It's still circular knitting machines. It's still, the base of it is a tube sock, and it's still a pretty stale industry. We haven't seen a ton of growth there.
The sock is the bass player in the band. I mean, it's the feet and socks are not as glamorous as the shirt, right?
Right,
Or
it's
as
not
the jacket
sexy.
as the it's not sexy.
It's not sexy. You can't show the
you
logo.
must
It's
say-
covered up.
See, another thing too, it would make total sense in my mind that in the past, people may have had an idea about really eliminating odor, but I can see right now where companies could say, oh, if it's a $30 sock, there's no way anybody's going to buy that. They'll
Right.
they'll just wash their feet and change their socks more frequently. We can't do that. Sounds like you guys have accepted that. You're going to make a sock that's more expensive but truly is odor free. So
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the thing is, if you're somebody that buys Walmart socks, that's okay. But we're not trying to play the volume game
Right.
with
Yep.
cheap socks. I ran into one of our customers, I think it was 2 months ago now. He was customer number 15. He pre-ordered our socks before we even had them. It was October 2022. We launched in November of 2022. And he said, "Do you remember me?" And I said, "James." He said, "Yeah, I was customer number 15 for you." He was the first person I did not know that wasn't friends or family
That's
that
great.
bought our socks. And he says, "I don't know if you remember, but I bought 12 pairs from you." He says, "That was 4 years ago. They still feel like I just took them out the pack. They're still effective, and they are the only socks that I wear." He says, if my son steals them from me, my wife gets upset because then she smells my stinky feet again. Because he's somebody that works in boots all day. He's in 12-hour shifts, and he's always on the construction site. And when he said that, I remember the feeling when he bought those socks because I didn't know him. And I was like, this guy just spent over $100 on socks from us.
Yeah, that's
Are these
awesome.
things going to work? Is everything that I've been working towards reality? There's that kind of like imposter syndrome a bit.
Yeah.
And for him to say that, it just validated it. And we've heard so many good feel-good stories like that where we've literally transformed people from embarrassed to confident overnight. And it feels good, to your point, of knowing that we put something out there in the market that's good. Our return rate is so much lower than industry average, and we just get fantastic feedback on the socks.
where can one buy your socks?